Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, all of my beautiful friends from the internet. I hope each and every one of you is having an absolutely spectacular, glorious, fantastic Tuesday, or whenever you happen to be listening to this podcast episode, whether that be morning, evening, or in the night. This is the Reddit Asks Us podcast, the podcast where we read and react to comments from r/Askreddit. I am your host, Luke Dick. Now remember, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get those podcasts, wherever else you listen to those beautiful people who speak to you, who preach to you, who maybe even make you giggle a little bit, maybe even evoke a little bit of laughter. You know, just a little bit, of maybe the nose breath, maybe the. You guys know that one? Maybe I'm not doing it loud enough in the microphone. Maybe that one. Maybe they make you do a little bit of the nose breath laugh. Then please leave us a rating and leave us a review. We absolutely appreciate it so much. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever, on any platform, please go ahead and do that. It helps. You have no idea how much it helps the show. It's immensely powerful. If you want to take control of your podcast listening experience, go ahead and leave a review. It's a powerful move. You really want to assert your love for a show and your dominance as a listener. Go ahead and boom, give us a 5-star rating, won't you? Won't you go ahead and give us an absolute 5-star rating? Just slam the algorithm with the shows that you love and listen to. Remember, you can answer this week's Reddit question by going to the description of the podcast episode in Spotify, and you can reply on there, and I read those replies out loud on the next week's following episode. And even if you don't have something to say that's particularly related to the question, even if you just want to say something like about the show or just anything at all, please go ahead and comment that. It helps out as well. Excuse me, this is an ad-supported show, so we will take an ad break after we read out the responses from last week's episode, and then another one about 20 to 30 minutes in the show after that. Check out my Instagram. Please go ahead and check out my Instagram and my TikTok and my YouTube channel at Reddit Asks Us Podcast, where I post new short-form content every single day. Please go ahead and check out the subreddit. We have a subreddit. It's called r/Askreddit on Reddit, where every week there's a brand new mega thread about the episode. So it's a place for everyone in the community to kind of chat, and we can all have conversations with each other. I check it fairly often, and you can post in the subreddit about things that are podcast related. So there you go. So please join the subreddit r/Reddit Asks Us on Reddit, and I think that's it for opening stuff. Why don't I hop into reading the responses out loud from last week's episode? So last week's episode was, what was your I'm dating an idiot moment? First one comes from the Green Changeling. Nothing we could do as listeners to your show would upset you. Am I the only one hearing the sounds of a challenge being issued? Well, that was something I said last episode about the love that I have, the absolute adoration that I have for my podcast listeners. Listen, you could take that with a grain of salt. Nothing any of y'all could do would make me that upset unless I found out that you obviously did something very abhorrent. Then I would probably have to revoke my admiration for you as listeners. But that's all if you collectively decided to do something. I feel like it would be very strange if you guys all just kind of collectively gathered together and had some sort of revolution and overthrew me just so you could have control over the podcast. Maybe that's probably one thing that I probably wouldn't love very much is if you all congregated and then plotted to destroy me, like Caesar or something like that. Just were like, this guy's not cutting it. This guy's not cutting it. I think we should take over the podcast. And you guys revolutionized the podcast. Like you brought me out into the town square and just chopped my head off, and everyone's wondering, like, who is this? Who is this guy? And why are all these angry people chopping his head off? Well, you clearly don't listen to the Reddit Asks Us podcast, do you? Because if you listened to the Reddit Asks Us podcast, you would understand that it's time for a revolution. We need a change. All right, we need to change. We need to switch it up. And we had to take out the guy on top. Just the only way we could do it. Next one comes from Stressed Human. When he said passively job hunting, he had no resume, hadn't been filling out applications, and he was just waiting for the right job to show up. It was just for his first job. He was waiting for the right job to show up. No qualifications. He's like, you know what? It has to feel right. This job isn't feeling right. How about a job? It's not about this job or that job. How about a job? Doesn't a job feel right? Doesn't have to be this one, that one, Next one comes from Error404 not found. I personally don't have a story because I don't pick out idiots to date. Wow, that's a little bit of a flex on us. Okay, I think we're being big dogged here in the chat. JK, but one of my friends dated a guy who would wear his underpants 4 times, front, back, inside out, and then front and back in. That's disgusting. What? Bro, underwear is not that expensive, dude. You can go and get underwear at Walmart. You can probably even, it's getting to the point now where you can get like a good underwear at Walmart. All right, this is not like we're struggling for underwear to find. Honestly, if there's anything that I feel like you should spend some money on is your undergarments. Like, there is no reason in 2024 that we need to be flipping out our underpants. Like, front and back? Bruh. Come on, dude. I'm not trying to mix the front with the back. That's the worst of both worlds. All right, we all know the best of both worlds, okay? That's like eating fruit and ice cream together. It's like, oh, fruit is awesome, ice cream is awesome. If we combine them, I don't think we're gonna go wrong. This is all wrong. There's no right here in this situation. Next one comes from L Dude. Whoever dated you had that moment whenever they found out you never tried Cabanos. Time is ticking, Luke. Time is ticking. I know it is. This is a priority of mine that I need to get on. So I will. I promise. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make it happen, and I'll let you know about it. I will. Next one comes from Phil Savannah. I bought her fake flowers. When the last one dies is when I'll stop loving you. She watered them for months and bragged about keeping them alive. She was also the head cheerleader and valedictorian somehow. Well, I don't think a requirement for head cheerleader is being the smartest cookie in the jar. So I don't know if that's top of the... Not making a stereotype against cheerleaders. I just, I've played sports with a lot of guys. They were captain of the team, but... it's I don't think I'd trust them to build a bridge. I don't think I'm going to be giving them the engineering specs and trusting them to make sense of anything. Great guys, absolutely love them. Would die out on the field for some of those guys, but I'm not sure if they're astrophysicists. That's what we'll say, But you know what? I'm not an astrophysicist either, so what can I say? And then I think we had one last response on the mega thread on Reddit. This one was one of it was partially a response to the Would You Rather, which I was told by some people that I should keep the intros fairly short here because I know they get long. As for the question, I've never dated, so there's no stories there. However, one time I was driving and stopped behind some cars at a red light. There were 2 cars ahead of me, and suddenly the second guy began honking at the first. The light was still red. And continued to honk until the light turned green, and the first guy could finally go. So far, it's the dumbest thing I've seen on the road. Yeah, it's when you're just waiting at that red light, and it's like, why aren't you going? The light's red. That's a clear indication that you need to move along. All right, I think it's just these are the people that the world has to revolve around them, and I'm starting to think we should just give up as a society, and let's just let all these people. It's getting too bothersome to have to accommodate for these people and try to get them involved in the ways that we can in society. Now we just let's put the keys in your hands, metaphorically and literally. Let's give you the keys and see where it takes us, because you know what, I if you want to take the wheel, go ahead. I think we'll find out very fast, very quickly, how well that's going to work out for everybody involved. And then the topic says, as a suggestion, can you stop using brain rot terms? I know you're doing it ironically, but sometimes it gets annoying. As always, have a great day, Luke. Yeah, I don't like purposefully try to use a lot of the brain rot terms. I do have like internet humor, so I think sometimes I just do it without noticing it. I mean, I'm obviously not going to just change my sense of humor entirely, but I get what you mean. We're trying to make this podcast as inclusive as possible, and we do have listeners of all ages, so I don't want to be ageist in using terms that maybe all the people on the internet don't necessarily understand. But sometimes I do. The internet has good terms for things that I don't have the capacity to explain within my own life. But I do like using internet terminology. So I hear your suggestion. I hear it. So we're gonna take a tiny teensy weensy little itty bitty break. And then after that break, we will be back with this week's episode. Okay, welcome back, everybody. So I'm going to give you the Would You Rather for this week. So the Would You Rather for this week is an interesting one. Would you rather get as little sleep as you need, and it gives you the benefit of a full night's sleep, so you can hardly sleep, or you can eat anything you eat is now healthy for you? Even a single second. So you could sleep for a single second and get the benefit of a full actual sleep. But the other one, anything you eat's now healthy for you. To be honest, I struggle if I should say my opinions on some of these, because I feel like it might be a little biased, might sway people, but obviously you can make your own determinations. I think I'm leaning towards more of the food thing I'm leaning towards more of the food thing because I actually kind of enjoy sleeping. It takes out I think if you're somebody who really enjoys, I know people who just don't really care about food and honestly, really they just it's oh, I actually kind of like how good things are supposed to taste good, because I feel like it might, if you could eat anything all the time, that stuff would just get old and boring, and then you wouldn't feel the diversity of the food anymore. But that's the choice that I'm choosing. I don't know why I'm not advocating for it. But I probably wouldn't choose the sleep thing, because I feel like the sleep thing is kind of like somebody who's really just loves to do things all the time. And I feel like, no, I kind of enjoy taking 8 or 9 hours out of my day to just do nothing. But if you're a gamer, I could totally see just grinding. It's I would rather spend all my time playing video games. And think about it. You could probably run a 24-hour stream and never end it. You could be that person that streams for hours on end, and you'd have the most popular show in the world, because people could tune in at literally any point in time and be watching you I don't know, jump on a pogo stick or something. What do people do on streams? I literally I don't watch streams. What do people do? Do they just make up handshakes with each other? Just invite random people on and just make handshakes? I don't know. Every time I see Kai Cenat online, I just am. Obviously he's that's a brain rot term now too. Just Kai Cenat's name. Or every time I see him on stream, it's just he's just getting hype with someone. I don't know if I've ever actually seen him do anything. All the clips online are just him chilling with people. Really? Is this what's popular? Is just people hanging out in his bedroom? And it can't be that interesting. What do you do? So that's gonna be the Would You Rather for this week. The Would You Rather that won last week was, I think it was by far was sacrificing yourself. Look at all you goody little two shoes, okay? So the Would You Rather from last week was, would you rather sacrifice yourself in the next hour to save all humanity, but trapped in a room with everything you need and 3 people? So look at all you goody two shoes, all of you. We had a lot of responses on this one. All you say, oh, save yourself, I'm going to save yourself for humanity. I know you all don't like people that much. I know you don't, okay? I love you all. I love people. And I was really leaning to the trapped in the room, okay? And I enjoy people's presence. I know all of you guys don't like people. Who likes people? People suck. All right, people are not. I told this to my roommate Sam, and he's just yeah, I don't. People are the worst. People are the worst. Have you seen the presidential election that's going on in the United States? People suck, and this is obvious. I don't think we need anyone to tell us this. But, we did get a couple votes for Trapped in the Room. So shout out to anybody who did be honest with themselves and were like, you know what? Screw humanity. All I need is Elden Ring and 3 besties. And I'm going to be chilling for the rest of my life. In case anyone doesn't know, Elden Ring is a video game. Okay, why don't we hop into today's episode? So today's episode is, what was the strangest rule you had to follow when you were at a friend's house? So I think this was kind of along the lines of the etiquette thing, what's the dumbest rule of etiquette, but those ones are kind of generalized. This one is just weird stuff. It's always so interesting when you go over to other people's houses as a child, because you think that things function the way at other people's houses that they do at your house. And then you go over to somebody's house and it's we don't do this. What are we doing right now? This is this feels weird. This feels a little strange. Like, I mean, I obviously don't want to go into too much detail about some people, but again, like, I remember I had one friend, and this is more of an etiquette thing, but it was just like a very strict elbows off the table rule. We talked about this a little bit or maybe 2 weeks ago or whatever it was. But it was like, elbows, why? What is this so, like, I feel like elbows on the table is like a bit of a better thing because it kind of like shows you're interested, you know? Gets a little bit of engagement going. My elbows on the table is kind of like, I feel like it's kind of like, it is etiquette to put your elbows on the table. It's like, yeah, like, let me listen to what you're saying. Let me engage. You know, it's that meme where the guy's like playing video games, sat back in the chair, and he like leans forward, kind of dials in. That's kind of, that elbows on the table gives me a dialed in vibe. It's giving dialed in. Like, sorry for brain rot, but seriously though, it's kind of, you know, it gives it a little bit more like, no, now I'm paying attention. I understand what you're saying right now. Like, I hear you. Like, I'm ready to lean in. I'm ready to add my own perspective. I'm ready to like give a chat. Elbows off the table, just the wrists is like, that's just passive. That's just awkward. That's just like, I'm too focused on what I'm doing with my hands now. I don't even hear what you're saying. But yeah, I remember that being really a strict rule at somebody's house, and I'm like, really? What this is Victorian times? Who are we? We're not the royal family. Like, this is like, we live in a suburb. Okay, this is really not like this is. I don't understand. Like, who do we think we're trying to please here? Who's this for? So, anyways, yeah, some people just have some really, really wacko, weird rules at their house. So we're gonna read all about them today. First one comes, episode is, what is the strangest rule you had to follow at a friend's house? First one comes from Secret Locksmith 5894. I had a friend in elementary school who had a controlling asshat of a father who worked some wacky hours, like had to be at work at 3 a.m. God bless him for providing for his family, but he forced everyone to adhere to his schedule. He needed to go to bed at 4 p.m., so dinner was at 2:30. The landline phone was taken off the hook at 3, and everyone was expected to complete their evening baths, brushing teeth, and etc., and go to bed at 4. No TV, nothing. He expected the house to be quiet. In addition to these rules, he insisted that if his daughter was going to come to my house for a sleepover, then I had to go to their house. Every other sleepover had to be at their house, which is ridiculous rules. Every other friend bailed. I think the no TV was the deal breaker. But as young girls, the no giggling probably also played a role. I can still close my eyes and picture that ape of a man losing his shit and screaming at other people's children for giggling. Anyway, I did it, stuck it out, because my friend needed somewhere else to go, and wow, you took one for the team, and you could do that for her. That's crazy. You really bit the bullet on that one. This is a good friend. I wish I had friends that were willing to die like this or die on the sword like this. I mean, not saying that I don't. I have amazing friends in my life, but to be honest, I don't even expect this of anybody. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, you've got this. You're like a ride or die friend here. Honestly, I don't even know if I would do that for somebody. Yeah. You know, like the universal sort of thing that people do when they are happy, they smile and laugh. Yeah, we don't do that shit here. That shit's off limits. If I even see the crack of a smile on your face, you don't even want to know what's going to happen next. It's game over, okay? I'm going to show you the saddest videos online. I'm going to show you videos of the final moments of dogs' lives. Of people putting down their dogs. All right? No smiles. We don't smile in this house. Because smiling leads to happiness. And happiness is what? Happiness is nothing. Because your mom left. Your mom left, and no one's happy after that. So you think life's going to be all happy? Life was never happy. Life is never going to be happy. My life is miserable, so guess what? So is yours. You ever think about that? Do you ever think about how I'm going to perpetuate the cycle of my terrible life and maybe push that onto you? Yeah, I think that's kind of the wave. How to get your kids to love you 101. You had a shitty life, so make theirs shitty as well. This sounds like a great way to bond with your children. This sounds like you're making your children's lives a lot easier. This is crazy. Adhering to his schedule, that's insane. I don't understand. It's so life is hard for me. So I'm just going to make it hard for everybody else. Because the logic is, I'm sure it's there. It's there. It's buried deep down. But I think it's important that we all have things that we struggle with in life, right? Like life can't be all easy, right? Sometimes we need to struggle. So, you've got school, you got to go to school. But you know what? I have work. So you have school at what? You got to get up at 7 a.m.? No. Why don't we change that? You're going to get up at 3 a.m. Okay? That's going to be the schedule here, because life's not easy. Life isn't easy. It's like, Dad, I don't really see where the lesson is here. I don't really see what you're trying to use from this as a teaching moment. I don't think there are too many learning moments here. It's like, yeah, well, when you have to get up at 3 a.m. for my job, what are you going to do? Well, that's exactly right, Dad. It's your job. It's not my job. So I'm not going to work with you. So I don't even understand. No books? He said nothing can be, there's no noise. I don't think reading makes noises. Well, reading could open up a couple of giggles. Maybe, yeah. Reading could invoke a little bit of laughter. It's like they only have the most depressing books in the house, like The Road. It's like only depressing books about like the apocalypse. That's only books you can read. Books that have absolutely no humor in them whatsoever. It's like, yeah, it's like, why are all the books on your bookshelf? I mean, I kind of was leafing through them and they're all like really sad. And I mean, none of them looks happy. Like they all have really scary images on them, and they're really dark and creepy and kind of haunting. I read the first page and I actually think I'm going to vomit from some of the things that were in that book. It's like all books about like war and stuff. It's like, really? There's nothing happy ever. These are only the bad books about war. It's like just a collection. He like cut out the nice pages. They like went into every book and he just cut out all the pages where anything happy happens. It's like, and just wrote in his own thing. Yeah, so this is the version of the Hunger Games where everyone dies at the end. Yeah, so, Percy Jackson, you like the Percy Jackson books? Yeah, right when they go to Medusa's lair, yeah, she actually kills everybody. Oh, Harry Potter? Did you not read any of the books? He dies in every one. Okay, he dies in every single Harry Potter book. Philosopher's Stone, Half-Blood Prince. Yeah, Harry, I don't know if he keeps getting revived for some reason, but yeah, it's weird. It's interesting how they wrote those books. They just ripped out pages and then just wrote the rest in with Sharpie marker, and they like misspelled a bunch of stuff. But yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, all the kids die. Charlie dies. Yeah, but these are the books we grew up on, right? These are the books that we all know and love and enjoy. Next one comes from 4 stars. Your butt must be in the dinner chair at 6 p.m. sharp, even if dinner is not quite ready. No speaking at the dinner table unless asked a question by an adult. You must eat everything on your plate, and you cannot ask for seconds. No leaving the table before the father, you can hear the capital F, before the father dismisses you. Coming home from a family dinner where a family dinner was a joyful affair where everybody talked about their day, I was shocked. Yeah, you'll learn very fast in that household. You're sitting there all awkward, looking around. So, how was your day? Did anyone have like anything exciting happening today? You do not speak unless spoken to. Jeez, I didn't know I was eating dinner with Hades, with the devil over here. Jeez, you be the dinner dictator? All right. The supper supervisor? Really? You gotta be, you really have to be, I don't understand this dictatorship over dinner time. It's like, I'm just hungry, bro. I just want to get some food in my body. It seems like this is like, they want to make this like a torture thing. No, dinner. This is the one time where we actually get all. This is what my parents used to say, was that like, dinner's that one time where we all just know we're gonna see each other, so it's important that we all sit down, have dinner together, no phones, no TV. We just sit and we chat and we talk, because everyone's busy and we want to hear about everyone's day, and it's a time for us all to connect and bond. And it's interesting because at this person's house, it's hell. It's no one talks. You march to the dinner table. You salute the father, and it turns out you actually have to go and kill what you're going to eat for dinner that day. Even if you don't want to do it, he makes you. He makes you cry during the whole thing. Yeah, you have to kill and gut the animal yourself. And that's how we do dinner around my house. You're forced to do it, and dinner's not a happy affair. I don't know if you really know this, but dinner's not supposed to be happy. Okay, dinner's all about suffering. Have you ever thought about that? This is the misconceptions. Everyone says, "Oh yeah, feasting. It's a time to bond, a time to that we can all get together and share our mutual experiences and open up to one another and funny stories." No. You have it all wrong. Okay, dinner is a time to be filled with the most utter and deep depression you've ever felt in your life, and to bow down. It's a reminder that I sit at the head of the table. I oversee all of you. That's why my chair is higher than yours. I cut out a little section of this table that rises above everybody else, because dinner is a time to remember that I am the king. Dinner is a time to remember that you are all my squires, my jesters, my court jesters. I have the be-all and end-all say over everything. Yeah, this sounds really fun. This sounds like a great time. The one time where you get to actually sit down with everybody and hear about how everyone's doing. It's like, no, we actually, I don't care. I don't care. It's my time to make everybody else suffer. That's what I look forward to at dinner. Next one comes from Cast Iron Skillet Milk. I had a friend whose dad was obsessed with the vacuum lines in the house and would vacuum multiple times a day. We weren't allowed to walk on them because it would mess them up, so we had to tiptoe around the edges of the rooms if we wanted to go anywhere in the house. I witnessed him beating the crap out of her for messing up one of the lines. My parents didn't let me go over after that. Okay, this started off really just, it's like, yeah, my mom's kind of obsessive with cleaning the windows, and my mom's kind of obsessive with no animals on the furniture, right? We don't want to get the furniture. It's it's like my dad is it's about the vacuum lines. Yeah, and then it just went to straight up abuse. Some of the stuff was kind of like, okay, parents can be a little bit particular about their households, how they like the way that things look. This just went and just skipped right over that. So now we also have like OCD to a point where it's like you're tiptoeing around the living room. Like, that thing that's under your feet when you come outside. So you wear shoes outside. Everybody wears shoes outdoors. All right? And because shoes, you got to protect your feet. Got to make sure you're not stepping on anything you shouldn't step on. You got to be comfortable throughout the day. And the place that you go to at the end of the day where you're supposed to relax, there's literally the saying called kick your feet up. To take off your shoes to kick your feet up. And that thing that's like right underneath it that you use to do that, you walk on, yeah, it's called the floor. And I don't know if you know too much about a floor. But a floor is meant for walking. It's meant for stepping. We step on the floor. Otherwise, we can't get to where we're going. I can't move at all in the house if I don't step on the floor. Like, this is just so nonsensical. I mean, it's even more messed up with the abuse thing. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, I mean, we don't even have to have any sort of chat about that to know that that's screwed up. But I don't understand, like, the vacuum lines. The vacuum lines, this is like, like, the floor is meant to be walked on. Okay, I can understand if you have like a botanical garden in the back. It's something that's like supposed to be, it's supposed to be representative or artistic and representative of some sort of like style or thing or something like that. But the floor, the vacuum lines on the floor, Like, the floor is meant for walking. We need to go places in the house. It's like the one place where we're like supposed to be walking around freely, because you can't get anything done around the house if you don't walk around the house. That's insane. I seriously don't understand. Reply from your sus Renata. My aunt was like this. I visited them out of town once where I had to stay in my cousin's room or the tiled bathroom kitchen back door. I once accidentally stamped on the corner of a carpeted room just 15 minutes before my aunt was expected to be home. My cousin burst out crying. We had to rapidly vacuum the whole place and get the parallel lines back. It really freaked me out. I've never visited them again. I guess my aunt has some pretty severe mental quirks and can be abusive about it. That's just... Really? That's the hill you want to die on, is vacuum lines? I don't know if we have to go too far to say that this is not the origins of the problem. I don't think that most people become insane over vacuum lines. I can tell you right now, I don't think I've ever paid attention to the lines that I vacuumed on the floor. I don't even think I've ever thought about that in my entire life. I really don't think that this is where all the problems are coming from. If I had to guess, it's like, you know what really pisses me off? It's trauma that goes back to when I just knew ingrained in me as a child that when I saw that floor unvacuumed, or just vacuumed in non-parallel lines, I felt a rage that I've never felt for any other thing. It's just an uncontrollable blind rage. Yeah, I can confirm and say that if you've ever felt that in your life, you've got some serious problems. There's some real issues there. Next one comes from Sketch Ainsworth. I don't think it stops at the vacuum. I'm sorry, I'm beating this horse to death. I wasn't allowed to throw any female waste products in the house. Also, I have to wrap my tampon or pad and throw it in the outside trash. I went home. What? What is this? This is like a natural body function. It's like, you know when you gotta wipe your butt? Yeah, you need to take that outside. How about you take that disgusting little body of yours that pees and poos and has periods, and why don't you do that outside? All right, I understand it's like this natural body function, and everyone does it. But, I mean, obviously, I don't. I sealed mine shut. So, that's what a smart person would do. That's what a smart person would do. If you were smart, you would have sealed everything shut. I just did it when I was born. I just mentally controlled it telepathically, telekinetically. I just sealed everything shut. I've never eaten in my life. I never drank. Don't need to. Never. I have no desire for anything whatsoever in my entire life. Every bodily function naturally just doesn't happen to me. Literally doesn't happen to me. So why don't you think about that? Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about just suppressing every natural body function you've ever had in your entire life and just doing it somewhere else? I don't see what the issue is here. Like people need to get on this. I've evolved, and you know what? I did it by the sheer power and will of my own mind. I think that you're not putting the right effort forward. You're really not. It doesn't seem like you're actually involved in wanting to change the world. If you want to change humanity, change how the world works, seal your butthole closed. Have you ever thought about that? Seal it right up. Just seal it. It's like Coraline with the buttons for eyes. Who needs eyeballs? Make them buttons. Have you ever thought about that? No, clearly you haven't, because you don't want to be evolved like me. Reply from FroggyJoy87. When I lived in a shared house in college, we had to do that for a little while because we had a puppy who would consistently get in the bathroom trash, even with the lid kept under the sink. It was awkward to ask, but usually met with a laugh, and luckily the phase only lasted a few months. Okay, I don't think that this is what this Sketch Ainsworth was dealing with. It seems like this sounds like such an out-of-touch comment. It's like, yeah, we had to do that too because of our household dog. He would just get into the trash, and just couldn't leave things. The dog would get into it. It's like, no, that's not what I had to deal with at all. My friend's dad was a psychopath. They didn't own any pets. He thought that humans were disgusting? What do you possibly thought he could have thought of dogs and cats? This is just I think people who are like abusive and have this just tyrannical mindset towards human beings and their bodily functions, I really couldn't imagine that person being an animal lover. I really couldn't imagine them being like, yeah, like great, I love having to clean up after my animal. You know, I hate humans. I hate when humans do it, but you know what? When animals do it, it's chill as fuck. When animals do it, it's super chill. No, I think these people are going to probably keep the consistent mindset of being like terrible people. I think that kind of applies to like all life. I don't really think that they're just like a psycho towards human beings, but they're like, nah, dogs are chill though. Cats are chill. Yeah. Cats are super chill. Dogs don't even care. Fuck it. Cows. Let's have a cow in the house. But humans? Are you joking? Is this some kind of sick joke? Humans? Really? Wow. Way to try to catch me off guard. No, I really don't think that's what they were talking about. This one's maybe a little bit more accurate. Reply from I Am Babs. I had a roommate like this. She was weird. She said that using the covered garbage in the bathroom was presenting my period to everyone. I don't miss Brooklyn roommates. Yeah, New York is definitely going to be one of your first mistakes. I think, people generally have a bad time finding roommates in small areas where they live, even just through friends. Getting a rando roommate in Brooklyn, New York, I don't really think that's just going to end up great in a city of like millions of people. It's going to be like, yeah, let me just get a rando roommate. Yeah, guess what happens when you get a rando roommate? Either they're serial killers and they murder you in your sleep, or they do weird shit like this. And it's like, how could a girl have that mentality too? She's just like, you guys still get your periods? I stopped it. I literally removed my entire uterus because I just was like, don't do that. Because you and all the other girls are dirty and presenting your periods to everybody. And I'm like, why don't you just remove your uterus? I can do it for you. I'll do it while you're sleeping tonight. Why don't you have this little cup of cocoa I made for you? Don't mind the taste. Taste is fine. You'll wake up tomorrow morning with no uterus and maybe a kidney or a couple organs gone, and I might be a really rich person. But just don't pay attention. Don't pay attention to that. Just drink up. Yeah, met my Brooklyn roommate on Craigslist. Next one comes from Navy Blazers 2000. Friend's family had this. Friend's family had this nice house with a nicely finished walkout basement with a kitchen, main area, bathroom, and 2 bedrooms. It was furnished as if it was an apartment, and the entire family, including 3 kids, lived down there full-time, while the 4th bedroom was upstairs, fully furnished, and they would only use the main part of the house if they were hosting company. It was bizarre going over there because we'd get in trouble if we tried to play in the big unused part of the house. When I asked him why they all lived in the basement, he said his mom didn't want to have to clean it all the time, so they just didn't use the big part of their house. It was so weird. Why do you guys have such a big house then? I don't understand. Yeah, we bought a big house because we have a big family. We needed a lot of space, but then we were like, how about we just confine everybody to the smallest part of the house? In the basement. I feel like that's like a really good idea. This like giant unused area in the house, why don't we just like never use it? How about even do you one better? We're not going to allow anyone to be in there. It could be a play area for kids, for the toys. It could be like a rec room, could have some games in there. Just it could be a projector. You could watch movies in there. Maybe make it like a big living area space. No, we're just going to quarantine it off. This big unused space that would be perfect for your child's imagination just to run free and that they can create their own little worlds in there and really exercise the parts of their brains that matter. How about we just force our kids to just stay in their bedrooms? That's great for children. I heard that's like really awesome, is confining them to smaller locations. I've heard that's just like really great. The smaller the better, honestly. I mean, how Harry Potter grew up in the little room under the staircase? All the psychologists are now saying that's the move. They're saying, what's really great for your kids is making them feel like they shouldn't exist. making them feel like they shouldn't even be there. They gotta learn. They have to learn. The world's not always about you. Okay, the world doesn't conform itself to you. The world is a sad, terrible, ugly place, and that doesn't want you. The world doesn't want you at all. So get in the closet and don't say anything and don't come out. No laughing, having fun, or playing at it all. Because, children aren't supposed to play. Again, another random psychology fact, in case anyone was wondering, is playing's actually terrible for children. Playing and imagination. Children need hard labor. Children need to be put to work. They need to be cleaning. They need to be cooking. They need to be doing all of the housework. Honestly, I know it's not politically correct. I know this is not politically correct to say. All right, and sue me. Right, sue me. But we need to put the children back in the mines. Bring the children back to the mines. I think that this is it's not being talked about enough in society. We just need to. These are problems we have. Okay, taxes, big issue, right? We infrastructure, socialized programs. These are, housing. These are constant issues that are being talked about in the political cycle. But what I never hear is, why aren't the children building the houses? Okay, why aren't children creating the wealth for the country? I think that's a massive portion of the population that's just not being used for labor. We need to bring children back to realizing that life's about hard work and sweat and swinging hammers and turning big rocks into little rocks. That's what being a kid is all about. There's fun. Fun should not be in a children's vocabulary. Honestly, it shouldn't be in any of our vocabulary. We need to cut out fun. That's going to be my presidential campaign. Cut the fun. Not cut funding. Let's cut the fun out of funding. Let's just get rid of it. Let's just get rid of it. You want to know how we fund? Put the children to work. Surplus, all right? Surplus creates wealth. We don't need to pay them either. They're kids. This is fundamental for them growing up. This is all these children need this. No playing, no laughing, no eating, no periods, no poo, no pee, nothing. No, work. Get in that coal mine, boy. Get in the coal mine. Yeah, that's how we're really going to produce citizens that give back to society and not complete psychopaths. Next one comes from Soft Whisper XO. Stayed at a friend's house one night, and the family communicated exclusively through whispering. Not just hush voices, but full on hand to ear. Serious mindfuck. You guys don't just talk? There's no talking? Hey, would you tell your friend that we need their parents to come pick them up tonight? They're not allowed to sleep over. Hey, my mom just told you that you're not allowed to sleep over tonight. Why not? I mean, whoa. Have you not, we literally live in the quiet place. This is the quiet place. It's like, what? Can we go outside? What did your parents tell you? What do you mean, what did my parents tell me? Have you never seen the movie The Quiet Place? If you don't whisper, the monster's going to get you. The monster's going to eat you alive. This is what happens. It's a disease. It's running through it's in everyone's house. I've never heard of the Quiet Place. I've never even seen the movie. What, your parents are telling you that there's a Quiet Place monster in the house? Yeah, everyone knows you have the Quiet Place monster. You're not allowed to speak. You're not allowed to talk. Eating, you can't make eating noises. We have to go outside to eat. Yeah, it's so. This is devastating. How can't you just believe you just put all of our lives at risk like that? You're not even thinking. This is how inconsiderate you are. You don't even want you around anymore. Yeah, you're just a friend that doesn't think about other people. No, I'm thinking about other people right now, and I'm very concerned for them. Other people are really on my mind right now, and I'm really prominently on my mind, and I think I'm going to talk to some other people and see if those other people can't get the other people that I'm talking about out of those other people's houses. I think this is really, we do need other people to get involved right now. So honestly, all I'm thinking about is other people. I am really, I'm not concerned for myself right now, and I'm going to tell you that right now because I'm going to get on my bike and I'm going to ride home because I'm scared. I'm scared, and I think we need to get some other people involved. What is, I don't even understand the motivation behind that. Like, what's the, like, whispering? This seems like one of those, somebody has a dad who's like always in the study. Cornelius, you know we only whisper in the house. I'm the only one that's allowed to talk, Cornelius. All right? So next time you invite one of your friends over, remind them to whisper. Whispering only, no candy, no fun, no talking. Cornelius, you know the rules. Only whispers of the wind. I need to retire. If I hear a single noise, it will be no dinner tonight or tomorrow. No friends, Cornelius. This doesn't make any sense. That I don't get it. Their name is literally Soft Whisper. So this really must have stuck with you. Lawful, awful. Next one. I stayed with my girlfriend's family for a few days one college break. They had a rule at breakfast that you could never have just a single type of breakfast cereal. Why does everyone's parents have OCD? What is the problem? You know what? I have OCD, but I'm going to make it your problem. I'm going to make it like, you know how you love cereal? Yeah, well, you haven't truly loved cereal until I make you eat it the way that I want you to eat it. They had a rule that, I can never have one single type of breakfast cereal. It always had to be a mix of two different boxes, but not any two. It had to be flakes with flakes or O's with O's. I don't know what Captain Crunch match with. I had toast. Yeah, that's when you gotta just throw them the curveball and have pancakes or something. It's like make the parents really nervous. This is just you. I can't. It's like you grew up your whole life like this. It's like, yeah, I obviously I can only eat Cheerios with Fruit Loops. That's like, doesn't everybody do that? It's kind of standard procedure. I'm confused why you're confused. No, this seems like borderline abusive. It's like I don't understand. Like, this is just at no point you thought that this was a little strange. I mean, this is the thing that like sometimes like you're so blind because you grow up in your house and you don't understand that like something that you might do is weird. And people kind of give you that look where it's like, what you doing? What's going on? You're like, I'm eating only cereals with O's in them. Okay. This is standard procedure. I'm actually being respectful. I'm keeping your O's with your O's and your flakes with your flakes and your Crispies with your Crispies. So anything you should be thanking me. It's like, why are you mixing the cereals together? Like, why are you mixing, what is it called? Whoa, why is this? Shreddies. Why are you mixing Shreddies with Life? And Cheerios with Fruit Loops? What's going on here? Cornflakes with Frosted Flakes. Like, I don't understand. You know what? I find it disrespectful right now how you're not thanking me for mixing these cereals together. I'm doing the Lord's work right now. Your cereals are so unorganized. Did you know that? This is chaos. This is going to cause a global malfunction because of the cascade of problems that are going to arise because of the fact that you put your cereals together. What kind of people are you? We are normal people. We eat cereal of any kind. I can just have whatever cereal that I want, and it's not a big deal. That is so strange. Why are all these people's parents have OCD? This is what happens when this stuff goes undiagnosed. It's like, yeah, no, everybody has to tap their utensils on the dinner table 5 times before we eat. Everyone has to lick the bowl clean, okay? It has to be spotless. This is just, and it has to be 5 licks. You have to get it done in 5 licks. That's what Dad says. That's what Dad says, or else it's going to be big problems. There's going to be problems for everybody because it's not organized. The world's going to find itself in disarray. This is why the people who litter on the street, the people who litter, obviously didn't lick their bowl clean 5 times. They didn't turn the lights on and off a few times before they left every single room. They didn't profusely dust everything in the house. Yeah, that's why they litter. That's why these people do these things. This disorganized society. Next one comes from Royal Chariot. My friend's dad was divorced and lived in a big house with his new girlfriend. He made women wear their hair up at dinner. We had to wait for... Like, this is just so abusive. Like, what the hell? Like, screw you. We had to wait for him to sit before we could start eating, and we could not leave until he was done. We weren't allowed to speak unless her dad asked a question. We got in trouble for playing outside in the yard without permission. As punishment, we had to clean his shoes. Again, child labor. Yeah, like, you were playing? Well, we all know the punishment for playing. Hard labor. I said something to my friend like, is this how your dad always is? And he heard me and told me if I spoke about him again, he would slap me across the face. This guy, I bet he had a great home growing up. I bet he had loving, wonderful, caring parents who really made an effort to connect with him and telling and encouraging him and being supportive. I bet that's the type of home this man grew up in, if I had to guess. Because that just sounds like a home I'd want to live in. I know that. Sounds like very awesome. I love dictatorships. I love being told what to do at every moment. I love being reprimanded for things that are seemingly natural. Seemingly, pay attention, because playing, well, you thought playing was normal? Yeah, playing is actually the devil's work. Playing actually comes when the devil's trying to distract you. Okay, when sin is trying to distract you, yeah. Oh, you thought you were playing? You thought you were using your imagination? Yeah, that's temptation. You're going to hell. You're going to burn for all of eternity. Yeah, get serious, right? Clean my shoes. You need to buck up. This is absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe that people are just like this. We need to like, this is proof is why not everybody should have a kid. It's like the guy who doesn't allow playing and makes his kids do labor if he catches them playing, if he catches them doing normal kid things, and forces them to clean his shoes instead. Yeah, I gotta say, I just don't really think that this guy's gonna be a great father, in the long run. Next one comes from Woola the Cat. No feeling up my wife. They had a plaster casting of his wife's stomach and large breasts from her pregnancy on display in the living room. What? Why? Hey, I just wanted to invite everybody over tonight and take a look at my cast display of my pregnant wife's boobs. Yeah. Don't know if you've ever seen anything like that. But remember, no touching, no fondling. I know you're looking at that, and you're just thinking to yourself, wow, only I could get my hands on those. Guess what, boys? Off limits. Off limits, okay? Yeah, keep it in your pants, boys. I'm going to call the police. This feels illegal. This is weird. I don't want to touch your wife's castor breasts, bro. I'm not too interested. To be honest, I'm actually quite appalled right now. I don't know why you're bragging about this. This is really weird. I don't think, like, do you expect everyone to have one of these in their homes? You know what, if I run for president, if I get elected, everyone's going to have a castor of my wife and her pregnant belly and breasts in their homes. No touching it, though. There's going to be 24 security. 24-hour security monitoring my wife's castor breasts in your house. So, that's what I'm going to do for the public. This is my platform that I'm running on. Like, who even where did you see this? This is such a random, like, where did you get this idea from? It's like, babe, I saw this really cool thing on TikTok. We're going to make a castor, like a cast of you, of your naked body while you're pregnant for everyone to see. This is going to be awesome. Why is this awesome? Why do we want this? Because it's like it's like artistic, babe. Like, trust me, it's gonna be like everyone's gonna love it. Everyone's gonna love it. You know, like the paintings, the paintings of all those naked people that were really popular, like Renaissance paintings. You know, they got that stuff in France. This is like the same thing. No, this is I think I'd classify this as a complete invasion of privacy. This is. I don't really think I have a. You can tell me if I'm wrong here, folks, but I don't. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but I can't say that it really doesn't feel like the wife was on board with this one. Like he's just like it seems like he's always showing it off to everybody. Like it seems like it just really seems like this is something he wanted. I don't know if this is something that she was really all that enthused about. But you know, he was pushy. Reply from Almost Angel. The fact that they had to make a rule makes me think a previous guest got handsy with the plaster. Yeah, I was like, what are you doing? Are you feeling up my wife? I mean, to be honest, man, yeah. But have you ever looked in the mirror? Like you don't want to just fully admit that. It's like, yeah, okay, you know what? I'm going to admit, it's weird that I'm feeling up this cast of your wife, this plaster. I've been saying caster this whole time. This plaster of your wife. But do you not think it's weird to have one? I think that's where we started going downhill. I think I really think the origin, like, yes, it's weird. Yes. Somebody touching it, definitely weird. But I think it really starts, the origin of the weirdness begins at the making of a plaster cast of your wife's pregnant naked body. I've been to a lot of people's houses, and I have never seen anything like that in my entire life. So I think it's safe to say that that's on the eccentric, the very eccentric part of the spectrum of very strange things that people have in their house. Like, I don't even see what the attraction about that is. It's like, yeah, everyone can come over, have some wine. You know, we got a charcuterie board. We got some board games, too. We've got backgammon, can play some cards, and stare at my plaster cast of my wife's naked pregnant body. Yeah, we don't watch TV. We just kind of stare at it just for something fun to do. Just admire it. It's like, yeah, I'm not into your wife, bro. That's your wife. I'm into my own wife. All right. I think let's read out one more, just for fun. Because this one, I did see this one, and this one was funny. Emma Scarlett, last one comes from Emma Scarlett 8899. At a friend's house, I was asked to pay for dinner. Thought it was a joke, but they legitimately asked me to bring money next time if I expected to eat. They said it didn't have to be the exact amount. Same family asked me to bring my own sheets, blankets, and pillowcases because they thought it was more sanitary than me using theirs. They were especially worried about the pillowcases. Be clear, these were nice people. Yeah, they were so nice. They just made me pay for dinner. Yeah, they were like, why don't you invite your friend Allison over? She always pays for dinner. Allison, you ready to order pizza tonight? I don't know. Do I have to bring money? Allison! Of course. I mean, dinner's on you. You're the guest. Have you never heard of that rule? That's like we were really hungry for pizza tonight. We're really hungry for pizza. We wanted to order food, and we were like, hey, why don't you come over and pay for it? You know what's great is when we order out to eat, you just invite your friends over and make them pay for it. Ever little strapped for cash, and you really want to eat out, just invite your friends over and make them pay for it. I mean, you're hosting, right? Am I supposed to pay in my own home? You've never heard that rule before? This is my castle. This is my sanctuary. And you're going to make me pay in my own home? Really? Do you honestly think that that's a respectful, genuinely courteous thing to do? Yeah, that's what I thought. So bring out bring out the old debit card, get your mommy's credit card, bring it over here, and let's order some pizza. Like, that is so weird. Don't you have jobs? Don't you work? Like, you're depending on me bringing over. Like, I'm 8. I have no money. My parents, I've filled the allotment my parents have given me for the week. My allowance is the only thing that I've been spending on your meals. It's like, Allison, where's your allowance money? We've been collecting it. Time to order pizza. I don't know. I guess I missed it this week. No, Allison, bring us your wallet now. Allison, bring us your wallet now. There's that 20. Wow, we almost caught you in a lie, didn't we? Yeah, I don't want that to happen. We're not going to get pizza. If we catch you in a lie, no more pizza. And you bring over those sheets. Allison, you're supposed to bring over sheets for the family. What is this? What did you bring over? What is this? Walmart? Really? You think we're a Walmart sheets family? No, when you bring sheets for everyone. And they better be Sleep Country premium fine Egyptian cotton sheets for everyone. All right, we are hosting you. This is disrespectful. I really don't think that you're getting this. Our house, our rules, you bring the money, you bring everything. It's like she's just getting them to get everything. Next time your friend Allison comes over, why don't you get her to get the groceries? Why don't you get her to drive over a new car? How about that? Yeah, just... your friend Allison's in college now. I heard that she saved up quite a bit of money to take herself to college. But we need that money. We want to buy something. We want to buy side by side. That should be first year's tuition about. Just tell her to come over. Brand new side by side for the whole family, except her, of course. Because she's irresponsible with her money because for some reason she has none. So, but anytime she does, tell her to come over and we're gonna have a good time, some good old family fun. All right, folks, that's gonna be the end of today's episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in this week. I love each and every single one of you. This is the Reddit Asks Us podcast, the podcast where we read and react to comments from r/AskReddit. Please, 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 I beg of you to leave a rating and also please leave a review on this show across all possible platforms. Remember, you can respond to this week's episode's question by going to the description in Spotify and replying on there, and I will read those replies out loud on the next week's following episode. And even if you don't have anything specific to say about the actual episode itself, then feel free to just reply anything about the episode. Check out my Instagram, at Reddit Access Podcast. Please Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, where I post new short form content every single day. Hit up the subreddit. Please hit up the subreddit. It's been awesome to see people who have been in there already. r/AskReddit on Reddit. So please go ahead and do that. I love each and every single one of you. I will see y'all next week. Peace out. Love you. Goodbye.